It's another attribute versus attribute experiment here on the channel. You guys seem to love these. This one's been requested by quite a few of you. It's passing versus vision. It's two South American wonder kids. That's all there is to say. Let's jump in. Mateus Henrique, our Brazilian, and he has 20 for passing and 1 for vision. Francisco Esparis, the Argentinian, has 1 for passing and 20 for vision. They're both cams, central attacking midfielders, where passing is probably the most important attribute. I mean, there's plenty of positions where passing is important, deep line playmaker, all that kind of jazz. But I thought cam is probably the best. So we made them cams. And what's interesting is vision for a cam takes up far more attribute points than passing. So when we were making the attribute breakdowns, I had to boost Mateus Henrique's attributes elsewhere or nerf Francisco Esparis somewhat because I had to get them level. Speaking of level, they're at 115 current ability with a potential ability of 185. Now that's of course perfect for them to actually get decent passing and vision respectively, but I didn't want to do the 90 to 200 as we usually do in some of the experiments that we do on the channel. I wanted to do something that's a little bit more condensed where they start out a little bit better. You know, there's both Spirited as well as Wonder Kids. I don't think we've done Spirited on the channel yet, have we? As a personality. 5 loyalty, 16 pressure. Pressure. Is that good? I don't even know if it's come out yet. Honestly, if it hasn't come out yet, you're in for a treat. We've done a full squad pressure, high and low. If it has come out, then, and you've watched it, brilliant. If you haven't watched it, go and watch it. Interesting. There's the hidden attributes anyway. That's all there is to it. So the 15, so that's all there is to say at this first juncture. 15 years old, 1 year into the future, they'll be 16, 2024. Here we come. Where will they start their careers? Mateus Henrique has gone to Sep, aka Palmeiras. I should get the names fixed. I'm lazy, aren't I? He's gone to Palmeiras and he's not played a single minute of football, sadly. He's moved to 122. Francisco is at Teleras. He's played 13 times. 11 of them were off the bench. But he's improved 1 more attribute point. In terms of Mateus, his vision's up at 2. Francisco, his passing is also up at 2. So they've remained pretty consistent and constant with their disparity. They've both moved up 1 attribute point in that first year. Okay, so nothing has really gone on. Mateus is now a midfield centre. Francisco's on his way to being a midfield centre. So that's probably where some of these attribute points are going. I always expected midfield centre to be trained because it's a more common position, isn't it, really? I wouldn't be surprised if defensive midfielder was trained at some point during this experiment, but that's a digression. Let's just go straight to 2025. They won't have moved clubs, I would almost guarantee, but the reason we want to go to 2025, I just want to see the current ability season by season until they hit their potential, of course. I thought that said Rhett. I thought as in, is he retiring? I was going to say, you having a laugh? 127 for Mateus, 131 for Francisco. We will do a comparison actually at this point now. 4 for vision for old Mateus Henrique and 3 for passing. Let's compare the two players. The polygons, Mateus is slightly better aerially, technically, and in terms of his speed. Defending, Francisco has taken the edge. And there you go. Francisco's playing as a defensive midfielder. I think he's probably played as a deep line playmaker with 3 passing. Maybe he's not. Maybe that's why they're playing him there, because he's got better tackling and stuff. So Francisco has some attribute points that are better than Mateus now. Have either of them played much? Mateus has played twice, so that's not very good, is it? But Francisco has played 52 times. 27 in that first season, 22 times off the bench this season, 11 times off the bench. So he's starting a little bit more. They are 17. In 1 year's time, they will be 18. I am almost certain they'll have made a move, probably to Europe in some capacity. So let's jump forward another year to 2026, if they've made that move. Okay, so Mateus is wanted by Atalanta, still at Palmeiras. Barely played, and he's at 132. So that's probably why he's not moved yet, because he's not really played. Still at 4 vision as well. 143 though for Francisco, and he's made the move to Manchester United, £6.25 million. And it just goes to show, doesn't it? Like, you go hunting through South America. I mean, we all know this from our save games. South America is a hotbed for wonder kid talent. And look at that, 6.25 million. And we've seen his potential ability is 185. His current ability was in the 130s when he got signed by Manchester United. Of course, he's only made appearances off the bench, but he has made 3 appearances off the bench, and he has continued to improve. He's at 143. We look at the Man United squad. Eric Ten Hag's still there. That's unusual, isn't it? 3 years in, sorry. A Europa League win for Manchester United at some point. In terms of their midfield, who are they playing in the midfield? Well, you've got Bruno Fernandes at 174. Mason Mount is also at 170. Tian Koopmeiners at 159. But if we have a look by position, Kobbie Mainoo, 160 potential, 136 currently. Daniel Gore, 132 with a 145 potential. Arthur Vermeeren, 145. Isaac Hansen-Aaron at 136. So they've got a lot of players, and he's a bit better than them. So he's probably going to get himself in that first team. Maybe get a bit more of a chance. We'll see. We will see. In terms of a comparison, well, Francisco is identical in every regard, except he's much better defensively. He's much better in loads of attributes now, except penalty taking, technique. Mateus has got his technique up. And, of course, passing. That was always going to be the case, wasn't it? But he's almost improved everything in technical. Decisions are much better. A couple of physicals is what it is. So Mateus will move in this next season. So let's go to 2027 and let's see if Francisco, he's on the loan list. I'd love him to get a loan move. So he did move to Atalanta, Mateus Henrique, and he moved for £17.5 million. So the Brazilians are a bit more expensive than the Argentinians, but still £17.5 million is a bargain, and he's only on 29k a week. He's played 6 times for Atalanta as well. 5 of them were starts. Now, when did he actually arrive? He's won the Italian Cup with them. He's been capped by Brazil. It's all happened. 11th of the 7th. So he did sign at the start of last season. So he's not played many games, unfortunately. 1 appearance off the bench in the Cup. And that was enough to say he's won the Cup. So he's at 140 as well. And his vision's gone up to 6. So he's moving through the gears. Francisco is at Manchester United. And he's played 20 times last season. 15 of those were from the bench. But he has made 20 appearances, 5 starts as well, in the league, that is. He's also started in the Cup once. He's a few appearances in continental competitions. Not sure what continental competition that is. Well, it'd be the Champions League, because the Europa League was won in 2026. He's in the Man United seasonal best 11. I'm not sure where. He's on the bench. There he is, Francisco Espadis, on the bench. He's gone to 147, so he's not improved as much as Mateus has caught him up somewhat. Still 7 attribute points in between. And his passing's only up at 5, so they're about even in terms of their progression with the deficient attribute. One's at 6, one's at 5. But they are using up a lot of their current ability. They've got, I suppose they would only start at 115, so they only use 32 and 25 respectively. So they do still have well more than that. And if they're already at 6 and 5, then they're probably going to get to double figures, in fairness. So, yeah. But will they? They might improve in other areas. Who knows? Well, they are 19 years old, and they're starting to break into those first teams. Mateus, as mentioned, has got 2 caps for Brazil now. Only 2 in the under 21s or 20s as well. No caps for Francisco, but he is capped at under 23 level. In terms of the Premier League, let's have a quick look then. Arsenal won it most recently. City 2 years before that, and Liverpool. So it's shared around a little bit. In terms of Serie A, why not have a quick look while we're here? It's been AC Milan, Inter, Juve and Napoli. So 4 different winners in the 4 seasons we've done so far. We are in 2027. It's time for Ralph Watch. He's the manager of Bristol City, ladies and gentlemen. He was at Wolves for a year and he got sacked, most likely because he got relegated with them. Fernando Torres is currently the manager of Wolves. And their bottom, of course, alphabetically, always does it. Always gets me that. It always gets me. He's been there since 2025, so he's been at Bristol City for quite a while. How have they done under his tenure? 20th, 11th and 16th. I think he arrived here in 2024. Probably took over from a sacked manager. Did he? Oh no, 2025 he joined in Christmas from a sacked Dean Smith. So go on, Ralph. Recovered to 11th and then finished 16th the season after. So he's taken them backwards. Okay, we'll try and check in again on Ralph in a few years' time. Speaking of a few years' time, we are going to jump through to 2028. And while I do that, if you can just click that subscribe button, we are trying to move through towards 10,000 subscribers. It's just a long way away. So I'd really appreciate if you could help me along the way. Still out there, 2 clubs, 20 years young now. And Mateus, well, is at 145. He's improved 5 attribute points in this most recent season. And that's because he's played 3 games for Atalanta. 6 in total in all competitions, but 4 of them were from the bench. He's actually played 6 times for Brazil in that time. Deary me. He's not playing for Atalanta. His passing's now down at 19. It's all gone wrong for Mateus. Wipe that smile off your face, mate. 7 vision. Francisco is proud to be in the international setup. overjoyed to have scored his first goal for Argentina. 1 goal, 6 caps. Fair play to him. He has improved to just 6 in terms of his passing. And in terms of his appearances for Manchester United, well, 33 of them in the league last season, 26 of them were from the bench. He's very much a sub-merchant. He is a sub-merchant for Man United, and he's at 160 now. He's at 160. What tactics did he play? There he is. He's alongside Nathaniel Hondy, who's a regen at 176. Lovely stuff. What's his personality? Resolute. These two could be Man United's central midfield pairing for 10 years. These could carry them, and they could build around this pairing. So do it, whoever the manager will be. Erik ten Hag's just been sacked 6 years to the day. I thought he was the manager of Wolves. He's unemployed. Sacked after the club decided it was time to make a change. Well, fair enough. Fair enough. Didn't win enough with them, did he? Harsh but fair. Mateus needs to move away from Atalanta. Atalanta have wasted their non-EU signing there, and they're not playing him. They need to either play him or get him gone, or Francisco's going to run away with this one. Let's move to 2029. Well, it's all kicked off. Mateus at 147, so he's barely improved at all. 2 attribute points, again, 5 appearances. They all were starts this time. No appearances off the bench in the league or the cup. 1 in continental competitions. Not good enough. Not good enough for me. Who have they got in the squad? So, Edison at 149, just marginally better. Tommaso Baldanzi. He's a very good player. Can play cam. He's actually transfer listed by request for £82 million. Loads of teams want him. That could be Mateus's key to getting in the squad. You've also got Moritz Kjærgaard. He's also wanted by Bournemouth. Yeah. Gianluca Scamacca, he's also transfer listed by request for 60 million. All kicking off over here. Matter with everyone. AC Milan won the last 2 years in a row. Wanted is Francisco by Newcastle. He's at 169. He's really kicked on. 7 passing, though. 7 passing. He played 35 times last season. 22 of them were starts. He's starting to play more regularly for Manchester United. Xavi is in charge, and very much, he seems very clear that he likes Francisco. Does he like Nathaniel Hondy? He doesn't like him as much. I'm looking at him. 130 out of 176. Couple more seasons, and he might just break into that first team. Anthony's transfer listed by request. Wants to leave for continental football. What? Oh, Europa League. 6th. What's wrong with that? I mean, you want to get Champions League football. Of course you do. But Newcastle have got Champions League football. They could be tempting him away. They could tempt Francisco away from Man United. Bets? Think it's going to happen? He's worth 91 to 273 million. So you're talking 100 million plus. And he's wanted by Newcastle. Active interest. They've got 103 million remaining in the budget. They do have the funds. Is it going to happen? Let's go and find out. Well, it hasn't yet. Still wanted by Newcastle. Still at Man United. He's at 180 out of 185. And Mateus is at 147 still. He's been wasted. And I feel like, I just feel disappointed. He's 22 years old. He's still got 2 years left in his contract. 1 appearance all season for Atalanta. I feel like we're following one player at the minute. Old Francisco over here. He played 33 times for United. All of them starts. 9 goals. He gets to 7. Manchester United. Thomas Tuchel's in charge. Sorry, Mateus Darm. 6th again. Another 176. Nathan Daniels for Man United. So they've got some good youngsters coming through. Man City have won it 3 years in a row. And Newcastle, finished below United on 7th. So no Champions League football for them to tempt Francisco away. I don't think he's going to be tempted away, to be honest. I think he's going to stay. West Ham getting Champions League football. They've clearly won the Europa League in 2030, and they're managerless because David Moyes got sacked on the 28th of the 5th, 6 days after he won the Europa League, and he won the FA Cup. So he's won the FA Cup and Europa League in the same season, and the club sacked him. That is pretty... there's bad in it. That is awful. I can't believe that, West Ham. Shame on you. Shame on you as well, Atalanta. You've ruined Mateus. Let's go to 2030. Should we go to 2032? Because that's when his contract's up. We'll go 2031 very quickly because Francisco might move. Need to think on. Still at United, and he's now wanted by Man United. Want Mateus? He's still at 147. Oh, devastating. Absolutely devastating. How much is he worth? 15 to 44 million. Man United, come and save him. Man United need to save the Wonder Kid. You don't often see that, do you? He has played 34 times for United this season as well, all starts. Manchester United, Thomas Tuchel still in charge. Did they get Champions League football? No, they got 6th. Again, Newcastle got Champions League football from 7th. Obviously won the Europa League. Who went and took over at West Ham? Lionel Scaloni. No, Zinedine Zidane went there. Zinedine Zidane. Have they had a tycoon? Yes, they did in 2026. Russell Wallace is scaling down the funding in 2031. So Russell Wallace came in. David Moyes didn't do a lot with it. Fair enough, then they decided to make a change. Zinedine Zidane came in, who's now gone to Valencia. Have they had a tycoon? They had a tycoon in another experiment. No tycoon for Valencia. So one more year. Mateus is on the last... He's signing a new deal. 2035, he's signing a new deal. What are you doing? 2 appearances. 1 start, 1 off the bench, 1 assist. Give him a chance, Atalanta. I can't believe we're still doing 1 year jumps at 2032. 184 for Francisco at Manchester United. 148 for Mateus. Still wanted by Napoli this time. 24 years old. He's not going to get to his potential. So where did he get to? 7 in terms of his vision. Francisco only got to 9 in terms of his passing. He's at 185, a fantastic talent. And yeah, playing every single game pretty much for Manchester United. Arsenal won the league. West Ham up in 5th. So the managerial changes worked. They've got themselves up into the Champions League places. United won the Europa League from 10th. Matthias Darm, how are you still in a job, mate? I mean, I'm just going to quickly just compare the two. It's just sad, isn't it? Just so sad. Right, we're going to jump through bigger jumps now. We're going to 2035. On we move. Well, Mateus has moved to Fiorentina. He moved for £76 million. And out of nowhere, he started playing. He played 36 times for Atalanta there, then 35, and then he moved for 55 million, rising up to 76. 36 games for Fiorentina. So he's out of nowhere become good. He's now at 171 out of 185. Vision's up at 11. Francisco is at 185. His passing's now got to 10. Still at Manchester United. Zinedine Zidane in charge. They've had Matthias Darm. He resigned. Didn't even get sacked. Finished 10th. Went to become manager of Germany and Porto. Marco Rose came in for just over a year and got sacked. How badly did he do? And Zinedine Zidane has just won the Champions League. And the league. What's happened here? They've won the Premier League. Hang about. Where were we? 10th, right? They finished 10th. Then the following season, up in 3rd. Then down in 4th. Bournemouth getting Champions League football there in 6th. Then United won the league. They've won the league the most recent season on 85 points. They also won the Champions League in 2034. That was last season. It was Man City this season. United have been in the final 3 years in a row, to be fair. And Francisco he's just... Nathaniel Hondy has got to 163 out of 176. He's pretty decent. He could probably just do with being a bit better. You've got Dominique van der Graaf, who's at 175 as well. He came from PSV for £137 million. He's 27 years old. And look at this. They've got Dylan Munro, who they signed for £11 million from Hibernian many moons ago. He's not actually scoring that many goals for a player that's actually 192 current ability. But they've just won the league. Jared Branthwaite is still here. And yeah, they've got a few other players that are pretty high in terms of their current ability. Kevin Lucchini at centre-back. We can play all over the place, really. Jesus Gomez also up front. How's he doing in terms of his goals? Not bad. 60 million from Betis. Francisco's 18 in 64 for Argentina. Mateus 9 in 20 for Brazil. So it's very difficult to compare internationally because I don't know if he's been in the squad in some of the Copa Americas. So we'll have to go and have a look at that towards the end. We'll probably look at both of their milestones. 2035 it is then, and they're 27 years old. Let's go to their 30, so 3 more years, 2038. And they're still exactly where they were. Francisco still at 185. He's now got 11 for passing, to be fair. And he's playing all the time for Manchester United. He's one of the first names on the team sheet. Manchester United have Zinedine Zidane in charge. They've won another Premier League. United, since they were last here, 3 years, they've come second, first, second. So they've won another Premier League. Well played, Manchester United. They've also won another Champions League. I saw it. I'll come back to you. Right, hang on. It's all kicked off. So they've also won another Champions League. I've seen it. I'll touch. Fine. Crystal Palace have won a Premier League. What's happened there? Ryan Mason's in charge. Landmarks. Tycoon. Here we go. Nico Fritsch in 2025. He's scaling down the funding. They scale down the funding and they go and win trophies. Arda Güler appointed as captain. He's now at West Ham. Move for £59 million. So they won the Premier League. They've also won the Champions League. They won the Champions League last season. The Man United won a Champions League. Crystal Palace won the Champions League. Real Madrid lost so many finals here. Fiorentina have won a Champions League. Patrick Vieira's Fiorentina. He's been there for over 7 years. Sorry, excuse me. Matheus Henrique is a Champions League winner with Fiorentina. Look at that. He's playing every game and he's won the Champions League, the Italian Cup, Serie A. Fiorentina have won Serie A multiple times. Hang on. In 2028, they had a tycoon takeover. And in 2034, they signed Matheus Henrique for £76 million after a couple of good seasons with Atalanta. In 2034, they were the champions. So the league winners, they won the league and they went and picked one of Atalanta's best players who they just decided to start using. And he's been playing ever since in a team that's been up there and close to winning. AC Milan have absolutely dominated the league this season by 17 points. Pep's in charge of them. Of course he is, because why would he not be? He's been to, after he left City, he went to PSG, Bayern Munich and AC Milan. Because of course he would have done. Inter, Jurgen Klopp's there at Inter. So Pep and Klopp are still rivals. Still rivaling it up. Just gone to Italy this time. Both in Milan. 30 years old. Mateus at 177. Where's his vision? 11 still. 52 caps for Brazil now, so he's solid player. So they've both won Champions Leagues, they've both won domestic leagues, so it's actually turned out to be quite a nice, interesting experiment. 2038 then, they're going to start to decline probably as of about now. Should we go? I'm going to go to 2041. 33 years old will be. 3 more years. Okay, they're still at their clubs. Francisco's down at 180, Mateus down at 172. He's wanted by Al Nassr already. Slightly worried if he goes. Of course, he's still playing loads for Manchester United. Thomas Tuchel's back. Guess who's back? Back again. Thomas Tuchel's back. Tell a friend. Why is he back? Zinedine Zidane left to go and become the manager of AC Milan. Why did that happen then? Because Pep left to go back to PSG. Obviously had enough of bloody Jurgen. The Italian Serie A in the last 3 years, AC Milan have won every single time. Fiorentina, unfortunately, haven't won again. Vinny Comp is now in charge of Inter Milan because Jurgen Klopp resigned to become manager of Germany for a couple of years and then he has retired. Thomas Tuchel, he went back to Bayern Munich. Yeah, back to Bayern Munich for another spell. Then he went to Inter Milan, and then now he's back at Manchester United. Having been at Man United before and didn't get sacked, even though he should have done. Thomas Tuchel, he's won the Carabao Cup with Manchester United. Unfortunately, that's all they've won. United won a couple more Premier Leagues, though, in the last 3 years. Crystal Palace winning the other. In terms of Champions Leagues, United have won 2 Champions Leagues as well. So Manchester United in the last few years. Well, look at that. Zinedine Zidane, Premier League and Champions League winner multiple times. Fair play to him. And unfortunately, Thomas Tuchel's come back and stopped that winning ways. Look at that. 2 leagues in a row. 2 Champions Leagues in a row. In comes Thomas Tuchel. Comes second in the league behind Palace. Doesn't get to the Champions League final. Or win it. Got knocked out in the round of 16 to Liverpool. Eventual winners, to be fair. And it was penalties. But still. Mateus, is he going to leave? Is he going to leave to go to Saudi Arabia? Let's go to 1 more year, 2042. No, he stayed at Fiorentina. He's still wanted by 3 Saudi Arabian clubs now. Italian Serie A, again, won by AC Milan. Tosin Adarabioyo is the manager. I'm not sure who that is. Player for Fulham in real life at this moment in time. Fiorentina still got Patrick Vieira in charge. Still chasing AC Milan down, just not doing that much of a good job. Well, Man United have won the league and it was Thomas Tuchel who won the league for them. But it wasn't them who won the Champions League, it was Crystal Palace beating Liverpool. Real Madrid have been run up so many times in this experiment. Very unlucky. Xabi Alonso's Real Madrid. Vinny Comp was there for quite a while. Oh, it's all been going on, hasn't it? So that's all we was to check in on at this juncture. 1 more year. Right, they've both gone to Saudi Arabia. Francisco left for £30 million and his contract runs up at the end of the next season, so he'll be gone by then. Same for Mateus, so they'll both be gone by the end of 2044. So 23 million he went for as well. So they've both played a season at Saudi Arabia. Should we call it there? Because they've not got any further things to delve into. Let's go forward just 1 more year. I'm intrigued. They're still there. Should we just see if they've just left? Okay, yeah, so they did leave. I went through another 2045. They were both gone. So here we go. End of the experiment. So Francisco ended with 13 passing. Mateus ended up with 14 vision. We didn't really hold them back too badly. Mateus did take a bit of time to get going, but he did win a lot of trophies, as did Francisco. In terms of international trophies, well, The World Cup was won by Argentina in 2030 after Netherlands beat Japan in 2026. So Brazil haven't won anything. Argentina have. The Copa America, wow. Brazil have won 1. Argentina have won 2. Now, would he have been playing in 2024? I don't think he would have been playing in 2024. So they've probably got 1 Copa America each. So if we look at competitions, Argentina, Copa America 3rd place. World Cup winner in 2030. First international cap in 2028. And then the Copa America winners in 2036. So if we have a quick look at Mateus, Copa America's runners-up. First international cap in 2027. So, yeah, he did not win the Copa America, but he did win the Olympic Games with them. So his career was just a little bit more muted, I think, throughout the entire experiment. Have we won any individual accolades in terms of golden balls? Nothing in terms of the golden ball. Adam De Keyser has won for a couple of times for Fiorentina most recently. Football of the Year, Giovan Battista Giovanardi at Crystal Palace. £44.5 million from Birmingham. Yet no Football of the Year. Player of the Year. Francisco won Player of the Year in 2040. That's about... That is it. That is literally it. In terms of all seasons, neither of them have made it into the all-time team. Neither of them have made the bench either. Well, there you go then, ladies and gentlemen. That is the end of today's experiment. Passing versus vision. If you have a couple of attributes you'd like me to do this for, they're a lot of fun. I really enjoy making these ones, and they're actually really easy to set up. So if you've got any ideas, do let me know in the comments down below. Hope you enjoyed it, ladies and gentlemen. I had a nice time with this one. Francisco and Mateus, I salute you. Congratulations on your successful careers. Passing versus vision then, what came out on top? Well, it was Francisco and the vision that was on top. And that was the attribute that's weighted a little bit more to begin with. So maybe that's the better attribute. Vision over passing. Who knows? Well, let me know what you think of that and what you thought of this in the comments down below. Do take good care of yourselves though, gang. Subscribe to the channel. Watch this video that's coming up there. Like it. This is all out of order. I'll see you soon.